howdy, y'all. It's Shana from Creative Chaos in Tennessee, and today we are back with day 11 of 12 days of Reindeer Games. And I can't believe that tomorrow is the last day. Remember, you still have until the end of the month to complete all of the layouts and embellishment challenges, so don't fret. Um, so, let's just get to it. Okay, so today is Tug of War, and here comes Santa Claus. So hold on tight, crafty reindeer. Here comes Santa Claus. Inspired by the lyric Pulling on the Reins in the classic game Tug of War, this round is all about balance and tension. Create a half and half layout design using contrasting colored backgrounds to show the playful pull between two sides. Don't forget to add twine, ribbon, or string to tie it all together, just like Santa's reins guiding his team through the snowy night. Ready, set, pull those creative reins and let your layout lead the way. So the prompt is create a layout featuring a half and half contrasting colored background plus ribbon, twine, or string. Now, your layout absolutely does not have to be Christmas themed by any means. And today's embellishment prompt is to create a Christmas or winter embellishment using mixed media. Whether that's your inks, your paints, your sprays, texture paste, stencils. Let your imagination just play. So, I was completely inspired by Vicki Boutin's last Friday Night Live. And she created, actually for the past 2 Friday Night Lives. So, in one of them she created backgrounds to make Christmas trees, and then in this past Friday Night Live she actually created a layout. So I actually watched the one first of her creating the layout, and then I had to go back and watch the one before that, but I absolutely loved it, and when I saw her create the background and how she did it, it inspired me to do it. So this is my layout. This is our group photo from the crop I was recently just at. But look at this background, y'all. Can you see it? And it's shiny. It has the gold. I absolutely love it. This is a swap piece, and then I created the title with some gold foil paper. But I absolutely love this. It is definitely out of my norm. And I actually created this with all paint and gold texture paste. So, we're going to keep playing for our embellishments today. And I'm going to show you guys my condensed version because Vicki's video is 2 hours long, each one of them. But here is my Christmas trees I have created. Look how pretty. I absolutely love it. You could also create backgrounds and die cut things from them. Look how pretty. I used some of the gold. I used some stencils. Some of these pages I used just ink on. Some of them I used paint. But we are going to get messy. So, you can see here's all of my background papers that I made, and then I ended up just picking what part I wanted to cut from. But I got a bit carried away. I still have lots of papers left that I can die cut from or make more Christmas trees or whatever I need. Now remember, you can be entered to win today's embellishments, your own set of Christmas trees. All you have to do is leave a comment on this video. So I'm going to go, well, I am going to use a little bit of paint, but I am going to go the ink route with you guys to make it easier. and less time consuming and messy because there's not as much dry time. So I think I got a pretty good little assortment. I think I'm going to go with some more green because I don't have as much green because I think I actually only did one sheet of the green. So I'm going to use Mowed Lawn, Lucky Clover, and Twisted Citron Distress Oxides. Now, Vicky used Distress ink, but I don't have Distress inks. I have Distress Oxides because these are the ones I collect. So this is what I'm going to use. So, I do have my mat down, a mixed media mat. You can get them very inexpensive on Amazon and lots of other places. So, first off, for my Twisted Citron, I do have a brayer. And I wanted to say, this is just my 110-pound Walmart cardstock that I always use for printing, for whatever. But it is from Walmart. It's 110 pounds. It's in the office supply section and not in the scrapbook section. So I'm going to rub some of this out on my mat. And let's see if I can pick any of it up. I know it's probably going to be hard for you to see, but there's lots of different ways that we can actually do all of these. And for me, it is just about having fun and playing. I am going to add a little bit of water to this so it'll be easier to pick it up. There we go. I know Vicky likes to use her foundations paper. I do not have any of that. You could also use mixed media paper or watercolor paper, anything that can hold up to a little bit of water and ink and texture paste and all of those things. So, okay, so we have the first one on. Normally, if I was using paint, I wouldn't wipe this up, but since I am using my other Distress Oxide, I am going to wipe this off because I don't want to cross-contaminate them. So, I'm going to do the same thing with Mowed Lawn. Let's see if we can pick any of it up first. Oh, we get a little bit. You could also just rub this straight on. That's what I did with some of my other ones. I have actually did these all different ways, directions, like which way I'm moving it. Add some water. Look how pretty. And of course, y'all know that my Christmas trees you're going to see on tomorrow's page because I'm super excited to actually make a page with it. Now, since I have this left, I don't want to waste it, so I am just going to flip this over and I'm going to just brayer on here to pick up all of that. Now, this is just cardstock. It's nothing special. So, it may wrinkle a little bit. I know these holds up pretty well as long as you're not just absolutely soaking it out. I think it works really well. So, it is wet, but I am going to take a stencil. Let's see. I have a couple different ones I have pulled out over here that I've been using. Let's do this one. And then I just have my brush. We're going to do Lucky Clover since it's the darker one. Oops. While it goes flying. Ideally, you should probably let this dry in between. You know, once you've got it wet like that, you should probably let it dry out a little bit. But, voila, we have that. Then we could also, since this is water reactive, you can spray it, flip it over, and get the reverse. See how it gives you a reverse image? Oh, it still has a little bit on there. And then I'm just going to wipe it off. Paper towels are definitely a must, but you need to have one doing this. And let's see. I have this one. I haven't used this one yet, but I think I will. So let's see if it'll actually show through. I think I've only maybe used this one other time. Oh yeah, see, you can see all the little lines. That looks really cool. And I just kind of do it a little bit here, a little bit there, because, you know, you're going to cut your trees from different parts, whatever you like. I have this one here that's circles, so let's just do a little bit of these. And I'm just doing it soft. I'm not re-inking it. Okay. And then you can also use paint. And paint works differently. I have mine flipped upside down because it's almost empty, so that I can just use some from the lid. Okay, so here's my lid. I just have like a little makeup sponge applicator, and then I just dip it. Once you do this, it kind of resists it a little bit with the ink. Dab it out a little bit. So I think I'm going to do these circles again, but just going to go through with this makeup sponge. You can kind of swirl it a little bit. Actually, I think this paint's like super thick. Let's water it down just a bit. Oh yeah, much better. I'm not going to do anything like crazy. And then of course you can tap it on as light or as dark as you would like. And since you're tapping it on like this, it won't take long at all to dry because it's not thick. And this is just plain old acrylic paint, if I didn't say that. This is just like the Walmart Apple Barrel matte white. That's like a gazillion years old. I've had for a long time. Vicky uses the acrylic paints in the little tube, and I do not have that kind of paint. I just have these cheap ones from Walmart. So use what you have. That's the fun part. Or don't use any paint at all. You don't have to. It's just adding in a different supply. And you know, y'all know mixed media is not really my wheelhouse at all. And I'm not always super good at it, but I really do enjoy doing it. I think it's really fun, and as Vicky's favorite saying is, it's just a piece of paper in your time. So, you know, it's really nice to be able to just sometimes just sit down and be creative without any goal in mind. And I absolutely love it. Okay, so you can see there's a few little wet spots. I'm going to give that just a second to dry. And while I do, I'm going to work on cleaning all this up with just a paper towel. If you have baby wipes, that would work fantastically. You know, I've also, before I had this mat like this I'm working on, I would just put it on the packaging, and that works just as well. you just have a bigger surface whenever you're using a mat like this. So, just going to clean up my mat and my stencil at the same time. Don't let your stencil set, because it makes it really, really hard to get cleaned up. Okay, so then next, it's mostly dry. I'm going to add my gold paste, and this is Hero Art's Gold Hero Paste. I always get questions about it. I'm pretty sure I bought this on scrapbook.com at some point. So, it's like a butter. It's really, really nice. And it goes on really good. I think I'm going to use this, the X's. And you can see it's literally like soft butter. And you could tap this in, just add a little bit of whatever, but I've found that this is not as thick as texture paste, which it's used the same, but it's a lot softer, so whenever you're trying to tap, it doesn't show up as well, so I like to just put it on with this spatula thing, or whatever it's called. Voila! Look how pretty! Okay. And really with this gold paste, don't let it sit, because this stuff is extremely hard to get off once it dries, including on your hands. If you can't tell, I have it all over the ends of my fingers, and I have washed them and washed them and washed them and picked and picked and picked on my skin, and it's like it is down in the grooves of my fingerprints, and it doesn't want to come out. So, again, I'm just going to spray it. I'm going to wipe this off. You can see where I've been using it and it doesn't come super clean. Scrubbing it really good. I'm sure they make stencil cleaner and all that good stuff, but y'all know I'm not about all the fancy dancy stuff. I just use what I have, and most all of us have soap and water. Or water and a rag of some sort, because I'm not even using soap on this. Okay, so there's that. And then this is pretty much, you're going to let it dry. The gold paste does take a hot minute to dry, but that is going to be beautiful whenever I cut out the trees from it. But we're going to let it dry. So then, let's do the purple one. I love the purple for some reason. It turned out so good. Okay, so, oh, I was going to say, if you use ink as your base and then you add in the white paint, you can go back in with a darker brush. Let's say this is darker, and go over it. Let's do it up here since there's not as much. And it will somewhat change the color. See how it changes the white? Oh man, I just got my Russian texture paste in the gold. Okay. Anyways, you can see that it's slightly changing it, and since this is water reactive ink, you can, my fingers are partially green, so it's transferring. Okay, anyways, you can watermark this and get the little water droplets. I probably should have waited till it's completely dry to do it. And then you can just take your paper towel and dab it, and you'll get the little water drops in it to add a little more extra to it. But I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but you can see how it pulls the color back off of the white, so it kind of resists it a little bit, which is really fun. Okay, So I'm going to let that dry good, like I was saying. Now we're back to this. So I use this fancy tool called a ruler and a pencil. And I just decided, you know, what do I want to do? So I literally just randomly drew, and then I would line up the top here and then decide how fat I want my tree and then draw down. So then when I want to do the bottom, I just kind of line them up together, and I went about half and about half, and then I drew the trunk down here, and then you just cut it out. It's that easy. If you cut right on the inside of the pencil marks, you don't even have to worry about erasing them. But if you need to, of course you can. You could jazz these up. Vicky jazzed them up with Posca paint pens. You know, you could put little bling on them, diamond dots, anything like that. I could see Christmas. You could do like Christmas balls out of them. You could do the green and do some holly leaves, and then do some like little red berries. They would be really, really pretty. And like I said, you could, if you had any die cuts for whatever, even, I thought this would be pretty even as hexagons, because it's not specific to Christmas, because I didn't really use any Christmas stencils. But then you have your Christmas tree. Is that not adorable? So, I hope that you guys will try this out. Even if you don't try this, you know, be inspired to do something with your mixed media. You know, pull out those things you don't normally use, or how you would use them, like inks. You know, normally you use it for inking things up. You normally don't use it to create embellishments, a whole background. And like I said, I am absolutely in love with this. I mean, I made it with the paint and the gold texture paste, several different stencils, and I did it by just doing, I used the brayer, and I only did half of my page. And the green's probably a little bit wider because I ended up having to cut a little bit off, and I didn't think about doing it from both sides. So anyways, Brooke said it looked really cool, that it wasn't my usual, but it reminded her too much of Wicked. So I should have did different colors, she said. But I did it based on the colors I had. And definitely go and check out Vicky's videos. She, of course, goes more in depth, and she is a way better teacher than I. But I still love it, and I was completely inspired. And even these trees would be pretty on this page. Like, look how pretty. If the title wasn't there, and then you could always put a title up over it. Like, just in general. Isn't it so pretty? I love it, love it, love it. Okay, so we're going to have a tree page tomorrow, no doubt. Leave a comment and you'll be entered to win some of these Christmas trees. And definitely post over on the Facebook group and show me what you made, especially if you decided to use this technique. So, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you're not yet a subscriber, I would love to have you. Go and check out everyone else that's playing along on the playlist and get the inspiration that they use today's prompts for. And until next time, bye y'all.